Hey, it's David, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the death of real men. It's a topic that's incredibly near and dear to me since so many guys in this community tell me how they feel like men are under attack these days from all fronts. I hear you, for sure. It's tough to be a man in this day and age. Dating's getting tougher. It's tougher to find high-quality women. I get it. But that doesn't mean that there isn't hope for you. And even better, once you realize how to harness your masculinity, how to channel it, and how to let it work for you, you're going to have a huge advantage over other guys. And things are going to be a lot easier for you with women. So here are some ways that the death of men is upon us and some things you can do about it. As I've said, America's a masculine country, but it's changed a lot because we've grown up with women raising a lot of the men in this country. The result, the basic point is men are less masculine than they were. Women are not happy about that. More so in America than in any other country I've seen. Actually, that's not true. There are other countries, but not Europe. Just America, far less masculine than Europe. And we've got it, every time you bring a little bit of masculinity back in, it is very attractive to women. How do you do that? Remember that she is not your mother. What she says is not what you do. She's not in charge of you. Moreover, I don't even mean to ignore her or that she's telling you to do things that are bad for you. Mostly she tells you to do things that you should do. Mostly she tells you to do things that you want to do. The fact is, if you listen to her and you do what she wants, she does not like it. She finds it unattractive. Remember when you were a boy. Forget about man, because somehow American men were like men when they were boys. When you were a boy, your mother told you things and you love your mother and you do what she says, but you did not obey. You were not obedient. You were not a cow. She told you to do things and you had your needs and your desires, things you wanted to do, and either you fought back or you just did whatever you wanted. You ignored, you grunted, you didn't respond in yes, dear fashion. Yes, dear is not attractive to men and it's not attractive to women. Men don't like doing it and women don't like hearing it. Even though that's what they get out of you, they do not want it, I assure you. A sad example of that is Colin Kaepernick, a football player who stirred up a lot of different emotions by protesting the national anthem. I can also confidently say that he's 100% dead wrong. Now, I'm not talking about the political statement that he's making by protesting. Of course, it's a free country. It's a country of protest. He's welcome to protest whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And of course, his protest has sparked a huge debate on the symbolism of kneeling during the national anthem. And while the politics are definitely important, whether or not they're interesting to me, I'm going to focus on something else today. It has to do with the why behind the protest and why you shouldn't let the woman you're with control you to the point that you lose everything. And when I'm done, you'll see how Colin Kaepernick can teach you an incredibly important lesson about your dating life and help you avoid a ton of issues with women in the future. Now, before Colin Kaepernick started kneeling for the national anthem, he didn't seem to be particularly interested in politics at all. His social media and Instagram pics were pretty much non-political. That all changed when he started dating this woman, Nessa Diab. Regardless of how attractive she is, she's a noted activist about a lot of different issues for a lot of what you might call progressive political causes. Once Kaepernick started dating Nessa, suddenly his social media posts started getting more political. His views changed. And before you know it, he's kneeling for the national anthem and this whole huge firestorm erupts. Not only that, but he lost his job, his multi-million-dollar contract. And now it seems like he's been blackballed from the NFL. In fact, former Ravens linebacker Ray Lewis recently said that the Ravens didn't sign Kaepernick because of tweets that Nessa had made about the NFL. No one wants to deal with all of the baggage that comes with Colin Kaepernick, but too many people are afraid to say what needs to be said. A lot of this baggage and Colin Kaepernick's problems are caused by this fine-ass woman he's dating. So let's back up. I don't know how many times I've seen this before. A guy falls for a woman hard. He thinks he's absolutely madly in love. They start dating. Everything's going great for a while. It's all roses, rainbows, and unicorns. And then slowly, almost imperceptibly, things start to change. She starts suddenly nagging the guy about all sorts of stuff. Is that job the best you can do? Don't you have more ambition than that? And like your friends, they're all losers. Maybe you've been on the other end of that. And even if the guy pushes back initially, slowly over time, almost like she's cast a spell over him, he starts to resent his job. He gets resentful since she tells him he should have ambition, but he doesn't even know where to start. And he stops hanging out with his friends. Like a frog in a pot of water that's slowly heated to a boil, before he knows it, his life has changed completely. And honestly, deep down, the guy's a lot less happy too. Slowly the resentment builds up, the power shifts in the relationship. She becomes the sole decider of if they'll have sex. And if she's not a nympho, trust me, it's usually way less often than you might think and way less often than you want. So in effect, the guy has given up everything he holds dear, everything that makes him him for sex, and he's not even having sex anymore. It's why so many men are still so unhappy these days, and why so many relationships are sexually dead. Too many guys are being controlled by the woman they're with. And when she leaves, that's when things get really ugly. For example, take my man Colin. If his girlfriend breaks up with him, or worse, divorces him after a few years of marriage, you think he's gonna be so happy he gave up his livelihood for the chance to sleep with a hot woman for a while? Absolutely not. So that goes for you and for other men, for every man out there. Are you having a different life than you want because of the woman you're with? Do you have a job that you want or one she wanted you to have? Are you doing what you want to do in your free time or what she wants you to do in your free time? Are you hanging out with your friends as much as you want to? And the friends that you want to hang out with? Of course, when you're in a relationship, there's a balancing act involved. But far too often, that scale is tipped way, way too far in the woman's direction. And even worse, that fact alone makes it way more likely that she'll leave you, because most women secretly want a man who's going to stand up to her, to make decisions, and not give in to her tests. So with that in mind, here are some tips to keep the balance of power in a relationship in a true, healthy balance, to keep her around and keep both of you happier. First, get friendly with the word no. One of the things I learned from women, but from a specific woman, she tends to say no first and then consider what you're asking her to do. The reason I realize this is because for me, as soon as she says no, I move on. For example, I say, I need a fourth for dinner. Do you want to come? She says, no. I just call someone else immediately and have someone else come to dinner. And then later on she says, so where are we going? And I say, I already sorted that out. You didn't want to go. Well, no, but I didn't know where we're going. For her, it was too late. But I realized that she does that because for her, no doesn't mean no. She can say no, and it's okay. It doesn't really mean that the conversation's over. For me, it does. I mean what I say when I say something. So talk more in her language. Say no right away. Let her negotiate. Get used to that. Get used to the word no. Try it for a day at least. Get comfortable saying no. You can find nicer ways to say it, but say no. How about no? I don't think that's going to work. Let me get back to you on that. Can I tell you later? Say no more often. That for one thing, it's stronger to her. It feels like you're making a decision, not just kowtowing. Trust me, even though she wants to do what she wants to do, she doesn't want to be with a wuss. No woman does. She wants you to be a man, but then do what she wants. That's really what she wants. She wants to do what she wants, but then she wants you to stand up to her. That's one. The next thing is, in general, stand up to her. Don't explain yourself. Understand what qualification is. Explaining yourself is when she says, why did you, where are you, what are you? Don't explain. Just don't answer. Don't always explain. Yes, I'm not trying to say keep information. I'm not trying to say hide information, although I'm not against that. But you don't have to explain yourself. You don't owe her an explanation. Don't explain everything. Explaining is weak. Sometimes the correct answer is, shut up, stop talking. Sometimes the correct answer is, you talk too much. Sometimes the correct answer is, that's enough questions. Sometimes the correct answer is, you'll find out when we get there. Don't always explain. It feels to her like you are a little boy, like you are her son. And a woman cannot have sex with her son. Third thing is, do not play the sex power game. She is never in charge of sex. Never leave her in charge with the remote control for the sex TV, because she cannot use it. She does not want to watch. She does not know what shows to watch. A woman needs to be seduced. They do not know how to seduce. They need to be clothed. They need to be taken. They need that. You have to have that job. Part of your responsibility is to make sex happen. If you leave that in her ballroom, she will not. It will happen less and less and less. There's something that the lesbian community calls bed death. This is because lesbians, because they're both women, and both women in charge of sex, have less and less sex as a relationship goes on until they have no sex at all. Two of them, the both of them. Both of them want to have sex, but there's no one to start it. I assure you, your job is to start sex. That means that if she is holding sex out, do not have any. If she is trying to use sex as a negotiating tool, back away from it. You don't want any sex. That doesn't mean tell her that. Just don't move towards it at all. Trust me, she'll start wearing less and less clothes. If you take away that negotiating trick, she has nothing left, and she will keep going at it. She will keep trying to get you turned on so that she can use it again. She'll start to think, you know what? He doesn't remember how much he likes having sex with me. I better remind him. And how is she going to do that? On her knees, fellas. If only Colin Kaepernick knew these, he could absolutely still advocate for the causes he believes in while staying happier and, more importantly, employed, doing what he loves to do. I'm confident in saying this fine Nessa woman would respect him all the more so for doing so, for standing up to him. She wants him to stand up to the team, and he can't stand up to her. What do you think? Is he doing all this because of his girlfriend? Is she responsible for the firestorm surrounding him now for well over a year? And if so, what should he do to counteract it? Leave a comment to let me know. Definitely value your opinion. And if you like this video, click the little subscribe button in the lower right. Finally, if you want to learn how to get in a healthy relationship, the kind of mutually beneficial relationship that brings love, joy, and harmony to you with a highly desirable woman who checks all the boxes, then enter the URL now to get your free gift. It's totally free. I'll put in the URL in the description and in the comments so you can go there, you can cut and paste it. Go there, you'll get some free resources to get the woman you want right away. Thanks for watching.